be so kind and return to Papa when you get a chance. I'm not your heavenly Papa. I'm just a cheap substitute. I'm the clay one. They call me Papa Clay. So again, oh, don't forget, when is our New Year service? Wednesday, right? March 20th, 1 hour, 90 minutes, fair enough. And then we'll be eating and fellowshipping and having a wonderful time. Don't forget to join us by way of video and radio. And it's true that at some point in the past, video killed the radio star, but we revived radio for all of you who are limited to radio or audio, like in Colombia in the mountains or Guatemala, where you can't get a good internet signal. We also have a telephone number you can call in, and you won't get charged. So let's just talk about where we are. Hablamos en este momento porque cosas are happening, están pasando en vidas, in nuestras vidas. Did I say that right? Okay, she'll be back in a second. This is what's called a stall. As long as I'm not in a stall, I'm just stalling. If I'm in a stall, just call 911. Say, hey, can you get your liach out? He's in a stall. Pesach season has begun. Turn to your neighbor and say, Pesach season. Is my coffee coming? My coffee's coming, brother. Brother Steve is coming. My coffee is coming. Oh, she's taking care of it? Okay. Huh? Okay, when you get a chance. Pesach and Pesach season has begun. Coming up. In the heavenly realm. No, take the microphone. Please. You need the microphone. Oh, she's back? Okay. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. We're one man short today. And Rivka's saying, did you call me a man? Yeah, and what you going to do about it? I can handle Rivka. Nobody else can, but I can. That's a gift. Only kidding, honey. I'm going to hear it tonight. Pesach and Pesach season is the beginning of a war that is happening in the heavens between clean and unclean melachim. The war is being fought at this very hour. Why? Because the angels and all created beings in heaven, including the fallen angels, are subject or playing by the times of Yahuwah. As far as the melachim are concerned, it is the preparation time before Passover. Passover is approximately what, 19, 20 days away? Roughly? The war has begun every year. It's a war that's being fought in the heavens every single year. Church won't tell you this because they don't recognize Passover. How do they know that there's a war in the heavens? For our church brethren, Passover has become crackers. A little cracker and a little bottle, a little glass of wine, grape juice. But brother, there's a war being fought right now, being played out on earth. The powers of darkness versus Yahuwah's messengers and his servants. This is why there are many attacks, personal and congregational. For the past few weeks, some of our dearly beloved brethren are wounded in action because there's a war in heaven. And that war seeks to take you victim.
Y esa guerra te quiere llevar como víctima.
Because the war doesn't start at Passover. It starts 60 to 90 days before Passover to steal, kill, and destroy you. And the war is doing its job among
Porque la
us.
guerra no comienza en la Pascua, comienza unos 90 y a mi antes y está diseñada para matarte, robar de ti y destruirte.
There's division with people that you never thought would be divided.
Hay división con personas que nunca pensaste que te ibas a dividir.
There are problems you never thought existed.
Hay problemas que nunca sabías iban a existir.
Even in a small group like group like ours,
Aún en un grupito como el nuestro,
there are divisions.
hay divisiones.
Can't 20 people get along?
Que no se pueden llevar 20 personas.
Bring chocolate cake and cucumbers, everybody should be happy.
Trae chocolate y pepinos y todo el mundo va a estar alegre.
There's strife
Hay peleas, luchas
in our families and in our
en
ministry,
nuestras familias y ministerio,
in your life,
en tu vida,
for the past 60 days.
por los últimos 60 y a mí.
Because the angels, clean and unclean, have been fighting a war because they know Pesach is right up the road.
Porque los malajim, ángeles limpios e inmundos están luchando una guerra porque saben que la Pascua ya está adelante.
The 60 days that you've been down and out before Passover, you should have known better. You should have known what season you were in.
A partir de varios yamim de la Pascua deberías de saber en qué temporada estabas entrando.
It is a time of stress, strife, and
Es un
contention.
tiempo de estrés, de contienda, de
Hatred without a cause,
odio sin causa,
lying for no reason.
mentir por ninguna razón.
It is annually a time
Es anualmente un tiempo
of exposure
de exposición
of shocking types of sin.
de diferentes tipos de pecados.
Brethren, I wrote this in 2007.
Fraternos, y yo escribí esto en el 2007.
This war has been going on a long time.
Esta guerra ha estado aconteciendo por largo
In the
tiempo.
last weeks before Pesach,
En las previas semanas antes de la Pascua,
things that were secret and hidden, thoughts of the hearts, hatred of the hearts, malfeasance of the heart, is being manifested in a shocking way. We thought we knew people, we thought we knew ourselves, and we didn't.
las cosas que eran secretas y escondidas se están manifestando. Pensábamos que conocíamos a la gente, pero no las conocíamos.
But don't worry, this takes place every year.
Pero no se preocupen, esto acontece cada año.
Same next year.
Lo mismo el próximo.
But hopefully next year you'll be a little bit more
Pero
prepared.
esperamos que el próximo año estemos mejor preparados.
How's the sound level, Tov?
Reports on me told.
Okay, Tov. You can make it a little louder if you want, just to be on the safe side. Tov. Okay, all right, that's fine. Pesach is an annual Moed feast.
La Pascua es una fiesta anual.
But brethren, Pesach is also a reminder
Pero fraternos, la Pascua igual es un
that
recordatorio
we remain in a real, ongoing heavenly war.
que permanecemos en una real y continua guerra en los Shamaim,
Played out before our eyes
que se está manifestando delante de nuestros ojos
on the earth.
aquí en la
Corinthia
tierra.
Beit,
Segunda de Corintios
10:3.
10:3.
Corinthia Beit,
Segunda de Corintios 10:3.
10:3. Everything you're seeing in your life that is shocking you, that is pressure, stress, is an annual renewal of spiritual warfare, and those angels fight because Passover is coming.
Todo lo que estás viendo en tu vida es a causa de esta guerra que se está manifestando, ya que la Pascua está a punto de llegar y los ángeles, ambos los malvados y los kadosh, están haciendo guerra.
Everything that's happening is to take your heart away from prepping,
Todo lo que está aconteciendo es para quitar
The
el
lamb.
corazón de la preparación del cordero,
building the
de
altar,
construir el altar,
enjoying the season,
de gozar de la temporada,
getting your mind and your heart worried about things,
de
fearful about things.
conseguir que tu mente y tu corazón se preocupen de ciertas cosas, que tengas temor de ciertas cosas.
2 Corinthians 10:3.
Segunda de Corintios 10:3.
For though we walk in the flesh as we approach Passover season,
Pues aunque andamos en la carne, así como vamos llegando a la temporada de la
the
Pascua,
war is not in the flesh.
no militamos según la
We do
carne.
not war according to the flesh.
No militamos según la carne.
Because now that you belong to Yahuwah, the bad news is now you know the devil is real.
Porque ya que le pertenecemos
Before you
a
belonged to Yahuwah, you didn't even know the devil was real. Now,
Ya sabes.
the bad part about being saved is you meet two beings, Yahuwah and the devil.
Y
And now you're a target.
Te encuentras con dos seres, Yahweh y el diablo, y hoy tú eres un blanco.
Though we're living in the flesh in Baker County, we're here on Shabbat.
Aunque estemos viviendo en la carne, aquí en el condado Baker, y aunque sea Shabbat,
There's a spiritual heavenly warfare going on that we don't even see.
hay una guerra espiritual que está aconteciendo que ni siquiera vemos.
For the weapons of our warfare
Porque las armas de nuestra guerra
are not carnal.
no son carnales.
What? Huh? Oh, okay. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through our Elohim to the pulling down of strongholds. So we're in a war, but it's not waged in this plane.
Esta guerra no se hace en este plano.
We are called to join an existing ongoing spiritual war between the sons of light and, yes, the sons of darkness.
Somos llamados a involucrarnos en una guerra que está aconteciendo entre los hijos del resplandor.
It is written in the scriptures,
y los hijos de las tinieblas. Está escrito en las escrituras.
Benjamin, it is written in the scripture
Está escrito en la escritura
that at the turn of the year,
que al cambio del año
the kings go out to war.
los reyes van a guerrear.
The earth is a replication of what happens in the Shamayim.
La tierra es una replicación de lo que está aconteciendo en los Shamaim.
The sons of darkness versus the sons of light.
Los hijos de las tinieblas a diferencia de los hijos del resplandor.
The sons of darkness, many of them are sons of light through Messiah, but they're using their eyes and their hearts to look for the moon, darker moon, crescent moon. They become darkened in their counsel. The sons of darkness, the Dead Sea Scrolls call the moon watchers the sons of darkness.
Los hijos de las tinieblas y las personas que se unen con ellos para observar las cosas en las tinieblas, la luna y las cosas que
For
no
you,
son
friend,
nada. Para ti, amigo.
Pesach is an annual celebration of everything that means everything to us,
La Pascua
right?
es una celebración
Mashiach.
de todo lo que significa algo para nosotros, de Mashiach,
Salvation,
de la redención,
forgiveness, redemption,
el perdón, la redención,
atonement.
expiación.
And the unclean angels begin to manifest in great
Y
ways
los ángeles inmundos comienzan a manifestarse en grandes
because they hate the lamb that you're going to celebrate,
porque odian al cordero que tú vas a celebrar,
the lamb that redeemed you,
el cordero que te redimió,
the lamb that forgave you.
el cordero que te perdonó.
This time of year for a child of the resurrection is a time to refocus their life on the lamb.
Este tiempo del año para un hijo de la resurrección es un tiempo para reenfocarte en el cordero.
And when Satan sees a refocused heart and mind, and according to the obedience to the Shema,
Y cuando el enemigo ve un reenfoque de acuerdo a la obediencia del llamado de Yahweh, el Shema,
hell's gates come against you
las entradas del infierno vienen en contra de
to
ti
steal, kill, and destroy.
para robar, matar y destruir.
So Satan's job is to cause the kings of earth
Entonces el trabajo de Satanás es causar que los reyes de la tierra
to go to war against the
vayan a
kings
guerrear
of the kingdom.
en contra de los reyes del reino.
The children of darkness versus the children of light.
Los hijos de las tinieblas a diferencia en contra de los hijos del resplandor.
Which is an exact replica
Lo cual es una réplica
of what is happening in the
de lo
heavens.
que está aconteciendo en los
Right
Shabbat.
now it's happening.
En este momento está aconteciendo.
You see, it's messed up, man.
Ves que está arruinado.
Passover is a signal to the demons to launch a renewed attack in celebration of your new year, now that you actually know when your new year starts.
La Pascua es una señal a los enemigos a que reinicien una guerra en contra de ti en tu año nuevo, ya que tú sabes cuándo es que inicia tu año nuevo.
Satan's legions and
Las
hordes
legiones y los montones de seguidores de Satanás
are determined not to allow
se
you
han decidido no permitirte
to enjoy the celebration
gozar de la celebración
of the Passover
de
lamb,
la Pascua y el Cordero,
because he hates the Passover lamb.
que odia el Cordero Pascual.
And he hates you because this is the season of a new year when you're going to refocus on the Passover lamb.
Te odia a ti porque esta es la temporada del año nuevo cuando te vas a reenfocar en el Cordero.
So that garbage is going on at your house, and the garbage is going on at your job, and the garbage is going on in your family is because there's a spiritual war in heaven, and the enemy wants to suck you into stress and fighting and issues so that by Passover you'll either be dead or you'll give up.
Así que
These are 60 days where he has targeted you for death or just give up and walk away.
Estos son 60 yamim que Él te ha señalado a ti para muerte o
Worldwide angelic
o
wrestling.
para que te apartes de tu llamado en obediencia. Esta es la temporada de la lucha mundial angelical.
Right now it's playing out on earth.
En este momento se está manifestando aquí en la tierra.
We are experiencing the spillover of the yearly renewal of spiritual warfare.
Experimentando el derramamiento de la guerra anual cada año en esta temporada.
Between the Father's agents
Entre los agentes del ABA
and S period A period Tan's agents.
y los agentes de ese punto a punto tan Satanás.
Last time I checked, we were Yahusha's agents,
La última vez que yo chequeé, nosotros somos agentes de Yahusha.
along with the clean angels,
Junto
yes?
con los ángeles limpios.
So he hates the clean angels and he hates us,
Así que él odia a los ángeles
because we are Yahusha's
y
agents.
nos odia a nosotros porque nosotros somos los agentes de Yahuwah.
And we are experiencing the same attack
Y estamos experimentando el mismo ataque
that is coming against the clean
que
angels
está
right
viniendo
now.
en contra de los ángeles limpios en
You're not
este
alone.
momento. No estás solo.
Are you an angel?
Eres un ángel.
Angel means messenger.
Ángel quiere decir mensajero.
Satan's coming against the clean messenger.
Satanás está viniendo en contra de los
The more
mensajeros
clean you live, the more set apart you live, the more the kings of this earth are going to join the angels, the unclean angels, and target you, because you're one with the clean angels.
Por más limpio que quieras vivir, por más
Worldwide
apartado,
angelic wrestling.
por más apartado que quieras vivir, los ángeles inmundos se van a unir en contra de ti, que te estás uniendo con los malachim, ángeles limpios.
The battle has come down to you.
La guerra ha venido a ti.
Yeshua's agents on earth,
Los agentes de Yahusha aquí en la
who
tierra,
along with the clean angels above,
que junto con los malachim limpios de lo alto,
are experiencing the turn of the year next
están
Wednesday
experimentando el cambio del
The
año
signal
a partir del próximo miércoles con la señal.
for the sons of darkness
La señal para los hijos de las tinieblas,
to steal, kill, and destroy.
para robar, matar y destruir.
And we're caught up.
Y estamos aquí atorados
Caught up in this warfare.
en esta guerra.
Make no mistake.
No cometas el
The
error.
pastor is not able.
El pastor no es capaz.
The church system is not able to teach this and understand this.
De la iglesia no es capaz de enseñar esto y entender.
What do they
¿Qué
teach?
enseñan?
Spiritual warfare.
Guerra espiritual.
Yes?
¿Sí?
That's not what the Bible
Pero
teaches.
eso no es lo que enseña la escritura.
The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Elohim to the pulling down of strongholds. What does Scripture teach?
¿Qué enseña la escritura?
That the annual war
Que la guerra anual
in the
en
heavens
los Shamaim cielos
is limited.
está limitada.
Or shall we say exacerbated?
O se
Or shall we say accelerated
empeora o se acelera
at the turn of the year?
al cambio del año.
When is the turn of the year?
¿Cuándo es el cambio del año?
Wednesday.
El
Day 4.
miércoles, cuarto yom.
What happens 14 days
¿Qué
later?
pasa 14 yamim, 14 días después?
The Passover lamb is
El
lifted up,
cordero pascual es levantado
is
y
celebrated,
celebrado,
is loved.
es amado.
You think that makes him happy?
Piensan que eso
Satan?
lo alegra a
You think that
él.
makes Satan happy?
¿Piensan que eso alegra a Satanás?
Satan says, you're not showing up at Passover.
Satanás dice,
Because
"Tú
you'll
no
be
te
dead
vas
by
a-
then.
a presentar para la Pascua porque para ese entonces estarás
Or you'll have pancreatic cancer by then.
tendrás cáncer
I'll
pancreático.
find something to put on
Voy a
you.
encontrar algo que ponerte.
This is a very heavy season.
Esta es una temporada muy pesada.
I've gone through things in my life and I should have known better.
Yo he pasado cosas en mi vida y debí haber entendido
I'm
mejor.
finding out that I have relatives that I didn't know exist.
Estoy descubriendo que tengo,
What are you suffering through
que tengo familiares que no sabía
in the
que
60 days before
¿Qué
Passover?
estás sufriendo tú en los 60 yamim antes de la Pascua?
How would you like to find out that you have relatives that have been kept from you yet you didn't even know exist?
¿Cómo te gustaría saber que tienes familiares que han sido escondidos de ti que ni siquiera sabías tú que existían?
Look what we're going through here.
Miren lo que estamos pasando aquí.
Things that have been kept secret that are being brought to light.
Que han
Stress.
sido mantenidas secretas, cosas
In
estrés,
danger of losing a job.
el peligro de perder un trabajo,
Danger of losing stature and honor. Wrestling. Stress.
peligro de
It's a
perder
spillover.
estatura y estima. Es un
You've joined the
derramamiento.
battle because you've joined the Lamb. You're sucked up and caught up in a pre-existing condition, a pre-existing battle.
Te unes a la guerra porque te has unido con el Cordero y eres absorbido en una guerra preexistente.
What individual attacks
¿Qué ataques individuales
highlight the weeks before Passover?
iluminan estas semanas antes de la Pascua?
Let me help you.
Déjenme darles.
Sickness,
Enfermedad,
marital strife,
dificultad en tu convenio de bodas,
divisions in the home,
divisiones en el hogar,
children that are in danger,
hijos que están en peligro,
hatred without a
odio
cause,
sin causa,
unforgiveness,
el no querer perdonar,
depression,
la depresión,
confusion,
la confusión,
excess confusion,
confusión excesiva,
disobedient children,
hijos desobedientes,
hospitalization.
hospitalización.
Her poor grandmother. I don't want to make you cry. Don't cry. She's been hospitalized.
Ha sido hospitalizada.
She's very, very sick.
Está muy enferma.
There are 2 doors that are calling.
Hay 2 puertas que le
And we're
están
praying
llamando.
that the door of life
Y estamos orando que la entrada de la vida
remains open.
permanezca
Hospitalization.
abierta. La hospitalización.
Fornication
La fornicación
comes to the forefront.
viene al frente.
Lust
La lujuria
comes to the forefront.
viene al frente.
Covetous, stress,
La codicia,
excess
el
stress,
estrés, las mentiras,
excess pressure,
la presión excesiva,
financial pressure
presión financiera
designed to choke you
diseñada para ahogarte
and to blame Yahuwah for your lack,
y culpar a Yahuwah por tu falta
or to blame Yahuwah's people
o
for your
culpar
lack.
al pueblo de Yahuwah por lo que te falta.
You're in a war, friend.
Estamos en una guerra, amigos.
You signed up for this.
Tú te registraste para ello.
It's your fault.
Es tu culpa.
You could have stayed in the world, done drugs, and think it was Christmas. You didn't know what day it was.
Quedándote en el mundo, hacer
You signed up for this.
pensar que es la Navidad. Tú te registraste
Oh, I'm going
para
to keep
esto.
Passover. It's really cool, man, because now I'm Israel. Welcome to a spiritual war that's been going on for millennia and ages.
Oh, quiero
At this
celebrar
time
la
of year,
Pascua.
when the kings go to war.
Es muy chévere, pero mira, fíjate que te has registrado para una guerra que ha sido preexistente cuando los reyes van a guerrear.
Are there any kings in this camp?
Hay algunos reyes en este
Yes,
campamento.
we're all kings and
Sí,
priests
todos somos
of the
reyes
order
y
of
ministros.
Melchizedek
En la orden de Melchizedek,
that feel like they're at war.
que se sienten que están en guerra.
My goodness.
Baruch Hashem Yahuwah.
Many other darts of the enemy are thrown at us
Y muchos otros dardos del enemigo que son echados hacia nosotros, en contra de
because
nosotros.
we belong forever
Porque nosotros pertenecemos para siempre
to the one who brought us out of Egypt
al que nos sacó de Egipto
by the Passover blood.
con la sangre del cordero.
In Genesis 12, in Chazon, Revelation
En
12:17.
Revelación 12:17.
Turn there, please.
Vayan ahí, por favor.
Chazón.
Apocalipsis 12:17.
Revelation 12:17.
Revelación, Apocalipsis 12:17.
And the dragon, puffed, the devilish dragon.
Y el dragón,
Why is he puffed? 2 reasons. His rear ends are going to be fried in Gehenna. So how tan? S period, A period, tan, tanto, fool, very tanto, very stupid, very tan. The derrière will be extra crispy. Oh, I look forward to that day when S period, A period, tan's rear end is extra crispy. The great colonel will see to it. Baruch Hashem Yahuwah. Puff the magic dragon, who's the prince of the power of the air. Oh, I'm afraid of the devil. Dude, he's the prince of the power of the air. He's homeless and nameless. He lives in the air because he has nowhere to rest.
él vive en el aire porque no tienen dónde descansar.
Was very angry with the woman who is Israel
Estaba muy enojado con la mujer que es Israel
and went to make war
y fue a hacer guerra
with the remnant of her
con
zerah.
el remanente de su simiente.
So
descendencia.
he fights church people every once in a while
Así que se pelea con la gente de la iglesia de vez en cuando
because they love him in their understanding.
porque lo aman en su entendimiento.
He fights against Yahuwah's melachim,
Pelea en contra de los melachim de Yahuwah.
but he's particularly interested in what's brewing in your camp. He say S period, A period, tanto stupido, fool, tanto dran, extra crispy tushy is very interested
Satanás está muy interesado
in what's
en lo
happening
que está aconteciendo
in the remnant of
en
Israel,
el remanente de Israel.
who guard the
Los
commandments
que guardan los mandamientos
and
de
have
Yahuwah
a salvation testimony.
y tienen el testimonio de la redención.
So we're his target.
Así que nosotros somos su blanco.
He sees us preparing for
Él
Passover.
nos ve preparándonos para la Pascua.
Alan, are you preparing for Passover?
Alan, ¿usted se está preparando para la Pascua?
Annette, are you preparing?
Antonia se está preparando para la
In a
Pascua.
few days, you'll be cleaning out the noodles and the spaghetti and the rice and turning your house upside down. Prepare. And you're getting circumcised. There's all kind of stuff going on.
En unas cuantas
And
semanas
S
van a estar
period, A
sacando
period,
toda
10
la
says,
alfarería.
not without a struggle.
Y ese punto a punto tan dice, no sin una guerra.
If I get you depressed and I give you too much to handle, I can knock you out and destroy you.
Si consigo que te deprimas, te doy algo demasiado pesado para que no lo aguantes, te voy a conseguir destruir.
Things are going to come to the forefront.
Las cosas van a venir al frente.
I'm going to show you
Te voy a enseñar
things
las cosas
that are designed to give you a heart
que
attack
están diseñadas para darte un ataque cardíaco
or a seizure.
o un embolio.
The woman is Israel.
La mujer es Israel.
The dragon is X period, A period,
Es
10,
ese punto a punto tan.
who has been making war with the remnant of Israel for millennia.
Quien ha estado guerreando con el remanente de Israel desde milenios atrás.
Because the woman, Israel,
Porque la mujer Israel
has the testimony of the blood of the Lamb
tiene el testimonio de la sangre del cordero
and keep the mitzvot.
y guarda los mandamientos.
We're the front line
Nosotros estamos en la línea al frente.
targets.
El blanco al frente de la línea.
Are you with me? The church is not the target
La iglesia no es el blanco.
because they have the testimony of the blood of the Lamb.
Porque ellos tienen el testimonio de la sangre del cordero.
But they're
pero,
not doing the
pero
commandments.
no están haciendo los mandamientos.
They're out of season.
Están fuera de temporada.
They're looking forward to the Masters tournament and Easter.
Están esperando el tornamento de los maestros en la Pascua.
They're clueless
No tienen ni indicio
as to what season we're in.
de en qué temporada nos encontramos.
Hello?
Hola.
I said they're clueless.
Que, no entienden, no saben.
Papelito. Por favor, papelito. Por favor. Papelito por mi scrino. Por mi ordenador. Mi ordenador. So you're the target. The clean angels are the target, and the sons of light are the target. Sons of light who follow the teachings of Enoch, getting ready to rub the Passover lamb in my face and the blood where I can't kill them like I want to kill them. I may not be able to kill them, but I'll make their life miserable on the road to that Passover table. That's the season we're in, friends. That's why they got knocked out. That's why they haven't showed up. That's why you're thinking of leaving. That's why you're finding out stuff in your house that you didn't even know people were harboring in your house. Don't let yourself get knocked out. Don't make yourself a victim. You should know this by now. You should have known the season you're in by now.
Debiste haber conocido esta temporada en la que te encuentras en este momento.
I taught this in 2007.
Esto lo enseñé en el 2007.
I shouldn't be surprised.
No debería de estar sorprendido.
The woman is Israel.
La mujer es Israel.
The dragon is Satan.
El dragón es Satanás.
Who has and will always make war with the disciples of Yahusha who are ready to obey the Torah.
Quien ha y siempre continuará haciendo la guerra en contra de los aprendices de Yahusha que están dispuestos a obedecer sus instrucciones Torah.
Who are getting ready to celebrate Passover.
Quienes están dispuestos y preparándose para celebrar la
Pascua. Not just to get together with their families.
No solo para reunirse con sus familias.
And have matzo ball soup.
Y comer sopa de matzo ball.
And noodle kugel. When you're Jewish and you don't know the Lord.
Si eres judío y no conoces
you love Passover. Why? I'm going to eat matzo ball soup.
Porque voy a comer sopa de matzo ball.
And chopped liver. Grandma went out and got some chopped liver. Chicken liver. With onions. But Shmooky, what's Passover about? I don't know, but I know the soup is good, and the gefilte fish is good. So when you're Jewish and you don't know the Lord, you don't even know what Passover is about. The Torah says when your son asks you, why are you doing this stupid thing with soup and chopped liver and gefilte fish?
La Torah dice que cuando tu hijo te pregunte por qué estás haciendo todas estas cosas con todos estos elementos de comida.
You say to him,
tú le dices a él,
prideful boy,
muchacho orgulloso,
ignorant child.
Ignorante niño.
This is what Yahuwah did for me.
Esto es lo que Yahuwah hizo por mí.
In the day that he took me out of Egypt.
En el día que él me sacó de Egipto.
You don't want to be a part of this?
¿No quieres formar parte parte de esto?
You think that this is what your parents believe in, but this is not for you? You have an attitude?
Piensas que esto es lo que creen tus papás, pero que no es para ti. Tienes una actitud.
What does the Torah say?
¿Qué dice Torah?
You tell that
Tú
child,
dile a ese hijo,
fine,
ok, so,
this is what he did for
esto
me
es lo que él hizo por
when he
mí.
took me out of
Cuando
Egypt,
él me sacó de Egipto.
not you.
No a ti.
So when you say it's for me,
Entonces cuando tú dices es para mí,
Satan introduces you to a war going on in heaven, specifically renewed annually at this season. WrestleMania takes place in the spring of the year.
Satanás te introduce una guerra que ha estado aconteciendo por miles de años y toma lugar exactamente en esta temporada del año.
And I believe even in the natural, those who follow professional wrestling, WrestleMania is in spring, isn't it?
Y creo que
March,
en
April.
El mundo natural,
What a
la
coincidence.
manía de lucha acontece en la
What a
primavera.
coincidence.
Qué coincidencia.
Vince McMahon and Donald Trump are fighting, and Triple X, what is that, Triple H? Triple H. Every spring is WrestleMania. What a
Qué
coincidence.
coincidencia que en toda primavera es la lucha manía.
What's The Rock cooking?
¿Qué está cocinando la roca?
What's The Rock cooking?
¿Qué está cocinando la roca?
And I'm not talking about Dwayne Johnson.
Y no estoy hablando de Dwayne Johnson.
It's us coming to Passover.
Somos nosotros los
The rock of
que
our
vamos a la
salvation, the
Pascua.
lamb, the blood,
La roca-
redemption, forgiveness, pardon, Exodus.
La roca de nuestra redención, el perdón, la expiación, el éxodo.
And Satan says there's a war.
Satanás dice hay una guerra.
You signed up for
Tú
this.
te registraste para
I'm going to
ella.
suck you into this angelic
Te
war.
voy a absorber en esta guerra angelical
And I'm going to destroy your wife.
y voy a destruir a tu esposa,
I'm going to destroy your home.
a tu hogar.
I'm going to destroy your job.
Voy a destruir tu trabajo.
I'm going to destroy your
Voy a
family
destruir a tu familia.
because you will never get to
Que
Passover.
nunca llegarás a la Pascua.
I will see to it that you either lose your mind
Veré
or
que-
your life
o que
before
pierdas tu
Passover.
vida o tu mente
Welcome to Israel,
antes de
friend.
la Pascua. Bienvenido a
You
Israel,
wanted to be
amigo.
Israel.
¿Quieres ser Israel? Quisiste ser Israel.
Welcome.
Bienvenido, para acabar.
We've been waiting for you.
Hemos esperándote.
The attacks are heightened
Los ataques se ponen más fuertes.
because everything is done on divine time and divine
Porque
calendar,
todo se hace-
sacred time, sacred place, and sacred ritual.
Todo se hace de acuerdo al tiempo apartado, el lugar apartado y las ceremonias apartadas.
Sacred place, right here, Deuteronomy 16,
Lugar
where he's put his
apartado.
name.
Aquí donde él ha puesto su nombre.
Sacred ritual,
Ritual
the
o
building of the pit
ceremonia,
and the slaughter of the animal on Aviv 14, sacred ritual.
en la construcción del altar donde se va a cocer, se va a cocinar el cordero. Ese es ritual apartado.
Sacred time.
Tiempo apartado.
Passover is a sacred time.
La Pascua es un tiempo apartado.
The time of the Lamb.
El tiempo del cordero.
It belongs to our Lamb.
Que le pertenece a nuestro
So it's a
cordero.
season where the dragon is riled up.
Así que es una temporada cuando el dragón está muy enojado.
The dragon is not in a good
El
mood.
dragón no está de buen temperamento.
Why is the dragon in a bad mood,
¿Por qué
Benjamin?
está el dragón enojado, disgustado?
Because the blood of the Passover lamb
Porque la sangre del cordero pascual
is an annual reminder
es un recordatorio anual
that he is a nobody.
que él no es nadie.
He couldn't stop salvation.
No pudo impedir la redención.
He couldn't stop the
No
atonement.
pudo impedir la
He
expiación.
couldn't stop the
No
resurrection.
pudo impedir la resurrección.
What's beautiful for you is an annual reminder
Lo que es precioso para ti es un recordatorio anual
of his impending eternal judgment and subsequent torment.
de su juicio y su tormento que están a punto de activarse.
So when you're at Passover,
Entonces cuando tú estás en la Pascua,
you know what you're doing to the enemy?
¿sabes lo que le estás haciendo al enemigo?
This is an annual celebration
Esta
of
es
your
una
demise.
celebración
This is an
anual
annual celebration
de tu muerte,
of your death.
de tu muerte. Baruch Hashem.
This is an annual celebration of your impending judgment and subsequent torment.
Esta es una
He's
celebración
got to find a way to get you to give up.
de tu tormenta que va a punto de la tormenta que está a punto de venir. Él quiere conseguir que te des por vencido
In this season,
en esta temporada
to get you to give up.
para conseguir que te des por vencido.
like the 1/3 of the
como
angels.
la tercera parte de los malachim.
That blows my mind.
Eso me asombra.
How did 1/3 of the angels become demons?
¿Cómo fue que la tercera parte de los malachim se hicieron demonios?
Can we talk?
Podemos conversar.
You and I have to walk by faith and not by sight.
Tenemos que caminar a través de la fe y no la vista.
We don't know if there is a Yahweh. We don't know if there are angels. We've never been there. We've never vacationed in heaven. We've never taken a time sharing in heaven.
No sabemos si existe
We don't know.
Yahweh, si existen ángeles. Nunca hemos visto los Shamaim. Nunca hemos ido ahí a ver qué está pasando. No lo hemos visto con nuestros ojos.
We walk by faith.
Caminamos por fe.
But the angels,
Pero los malachim,
they looked at YHWH
ellos vieron a YH,
face to face.
WH cara a cara.
And this adversary is so crafty. He convinced them that the one they were looking at wasn't real. And you don't need to be in fellowship. And you don't need to be submitted. And you don't need to be in a community. He convinced angels that were looking right at Yahuwah that Yahuwah didn't exist or didn't exist for their benefit.
Él convenció a ángeles que estaban en directa presencia de Yahweh, viendo su rostro, que él no existía, que no aprovechaba.
I think I put deodorant on today. I'm sweating.
Él convenció a la tercera parte de los
I don't want any part of this war. I'm not equipped for this war.
Que no creyeran ni siguieran más a Yahuwah. Y yo no quiero formar parte de esta guerra.
And so this season is a intense time of warfare.
Esta temporada es un tiempo intenso de guerra.
Because without Passover,
porque sin la Pascua,
every one of us would be Satan's disciple.
Todos nosotros seríamos aprendices de Satanás.
Hello? Without Passover,
sin la Pascua,
every one of us would be Satan's disciple.
Todos nosotros seríamos aprendices de Satanás.
I wouldn't be surprised if it snows tomorrow.
Yo no estaría sorprendido si mañana
Because what does Satan see us doing?
Porque ¿qué nos ve haciendo Satanás?
What does he see us doing?
¿Qué nos ve haciendo?
Preparing the pit.
Preparando el altar.
Going to Tallahassee for the first time to get a real lamb.
Yendo a Tallahassee por primera vez para conseguirnos un real cordero.
And not the wax kind that you buy at Walmart.
Y no el que compras en Walmart.
Right? Some of us, oh, we got a lamb this year. Is it real or is it wax? Baruch Hashem Yahuwah. This year we're doing the real thing. So he's twice as unhappy.
Así que está doblemente disgustado.
It's a time of victory for us.
Es un tiempo de triunfo para nosotros.
His kehillah.
Su kehillah.
But the greatest and most stressful time for that kehillah that is doing everything they can to press toward that Passover table, and there's an angelic war doing everything to give, so we give up and leave the community and leave our marriage, whatever, whoever, before we get to that season.
Entonces él consigue que nos desanimemos con tanto ataque, con tanta
That's Passover for you.
Que viene en contra de nosotros, consigue que nos demos por vencidos, que abandonemos la congregación y que abandonemos nuestro convenio de bodas. Esa es la Pascua.
Not all fun and games.
No todo es divertido ni juegos.
If you check the record and you check your spirit,
si chequeas el archivo y chequeas tu espíritu,
some of these obstacles and these things started happening.
Algunos de estos obstáculos o bloqueos cuando comenzaron a acontecer estas cosas que hace una semana atrás, febrero,
end of January, February,
al final de enero,
and they intensified. Grandma's sick.
Intensificaron. La abuelita está enferma.
No income.
No hay ingreso.
Lying.
Mentiras.
Relatives that don't even exist, you find out you have relatives.
Familiares que ni siquiera sabías que existían, los descubres.
Falsely accused.
Acusado falsamente.
The kehillah is pressing toward the table.
La kehillah está avanzando hacia la mesa.
So we are doing so recognizing that we are now in the most stressful time.
Así que lo estamos haciendo reconociendo que estamos en el tiempo más estresante
that this year will bring.
Que atraerá este año.
And yet Satan times it so that he tries to steal, kill, and destroy in the old year so that before the year turns, we've been nullified.
Entonces Satanás lo configura para que para el tiempo que ya es la Pascua hayamos sido nulificados.
He did the same to Adon Yahusha.
Hizo lo mismo con el Adon Yahusha.
When he walked the earth.
Cuando caminó sobre la tierra.
And he is our example of how to overcome those attacks.
Y él es nuestro ejemplo de cómo vencer esos ataques.
Turn me please to Luca.
Vayan conmigo por favor al libro
no
de
mala Luca, bueno Luca.
Lucas.
Bueno Luca, tov Luca. No mala Luca. Ay, tranquila. Luke 22:53.
Lucas 22:53.
Luke 22:53.
Lucas 22:53.
This is Adon Yahusha talking
Este es el Adon Yahusha el que está hablando
to the Prushim,
a los fariseos,
the separatists.
los que se apartan.
When I was daily with you in the Beit HaMikdash,
Cuando yo estuve con ustedes, todos los yamim en la casa apartada.
you did not point your hand. Luke 22:53.
Lucas 22:53.
You did not even point or raise your hands against me.
Ni siquiera señalaron ni levantaron sus manos en contra de mí.
From 20 BC
Desde el año 20 antes de la época común
to 30 AD,
hasta el año 30 de la época común.
I died on the Jubilee because I am the Jubilee, the 49th year of my life. On the 49th year of my life, I am the Jubilee, I am your Jubilee, I am your freedom, I am your Redeemer. You had 49 years to take me out. You religious murderers, you had 49 years to take me out.
Tenían 49 años para matarme, pero estoy falleciendo en mi año número 40, a punto de cumplir los 50.
But you didn't even point your finger or your hand against me.
Señalaron su dedo ni su mano en contra de mí.
But look in Luke 22, right before Pesach.
Pero miren en Lucas 22, antes de la Pascua.
But this is your hour.
Pero este es tu momento.
This is your time also.
Es tu tiempo igual.
Passover is not just a time for the righteous.
La Pascua no es solo un tiempo para los sádicos.
Passover is a time for
La
demons
Pascua es un tiempo de demonios.
to try to join you at the master's table
De intentar unirse contigo en la mesa del maestro.
or to nullify the work of the master.
O nulificar la obra del maestro.
If you go just a few verses later, you'll see Passover.
¿Cuántos versos atrás verás
I don't have it in front of me, but I will in a minute.
No la tengo enfrente de mí, pero la tendré en un momento.
Luca.
Lucas.
Some of you are already there.
Algunos de ustedes ya están ahí.
Some of you are already there. Luke 22.
Lucas 22:53.
Baruch Hashem Yahuwah. Luke 22:53. We just read. Okay, now go back to verse 1.
Regresemos al verso 1, 22:1.
Go back. Wave at me if you're in Luke 22:1.
Lucas 22.
Wave at me, please. Tov. Luke 22:1.
Lucas 22:1.
Now the Moed, the appointed time, Moed, say that to yourself, Moed, appointed time.
La cita señalada.
Now the appointed time of Chag Matzot, or the 7 days of unleavened bread, was near,
La fiesta de los ácimos sin levadura,
which is tied to the first day before Passover, so the whole thing in many circles is known as Pesach.
que se conecta con el yom anterior que se conoce como la Pascua, se conectan.
So Pesach drew near.
Entonces se acercaba la Pascua.
Verse 3.
Verso 3.
Chris, what drew near?
¿Qué se acercaba, pues?
Excuse me, Christmas, East? No. Pesach drew
La
near.
Pascua.
Verse 3.
Verso 3.
Look who shows up.
Miren quién se presenta.
Then S period A period 10 enters.
Y luego ese punto a punto
Look at that.
entra
Then he enters into Judas
en Judas
to come at Moshiach
para venir en contra de Mashiach,
from among the 12
de entre los 12,
who communed to betray him.
que se preparaba para traicionar.
Verse 7, the Pesach must be killed.
Verso 7, la Pascua tiene que...
Satan shows up, says, you ain't going to kill the Pesach if I get to you first.
Satanás dice, tú no vas a inmolar
If I get to you
la Pascua.
first, you're not going to be killing the Pesach.
Si yo te ataco primero, tú no vas a inmolar la Pascua.
53.
53.
Now you'll see it in context.
Ya lo verán en contexto.
This is your time.
Este es tu tiempo.
Devil,
Diablo.
servants of devil, the false priests who are not the sons of Kohath.
Y los siervos del diablo, los falsos profetas que no son los descendientes de Kohath.
This is your time too.
Este es su tiempo de igual manera.
The time of the power
El tiempo del poder, la potestad
of darkness.
de las tinieblas.
Friends,
Amigos,
this is the time
este es el tiempo
where the powers of darkness
cuando las potestades de las
are raising
tinieblas
up those around you
están levantándose en contra de los que
to
los
get your eyes off of Yahusha,
para conseguir que quites tus ojos de Yahushua,
to be easy fodder.
para ser
Where are your eyes today? Where is your heart today?
¿En dónde está
Is it on Sophia? Is it on my offending you? Is it on she offending you? Is it on somebody else offending? Where are your eyes
¿En
today?
dónde está tu enfoque, tus ojos en este yo? ¿Me estás enfocándote en que ella te ofendió, en que él te ofendió? ¿En dónde estás enfocándote?
This is the hour of darkness,
Este es el momento de las tinieblas.
the struggle in the heavens.
En la lucha en los Shamaim.
What is greater?
¿qué es mayor?
The blood that is drawing you to the Passover table,
¿La sangre que te está trayendo a la mesa del Cordero?
or the powers of darkness?
¿O los poderes de las tinieblas?
Because he knows.
Porque Él sabe.
What does he know?
¿Qué sabe Él?
Go back to verse 7.
Regresa al verso 7.
That we're
Él
preparing
sabe que nos estamos preparando.
for what?
¿Para qué?
For
Para
Pesach.
la Pascua.
That's why the attacks are coming now.
Y es por eso que los ataques están.
He knows you're
viniendo en
preparing
este
for
momento.
Pesach.
Porque Él sabe que te estás preparando para la Pascua.
It is the time, it's not just the turn of the year.
No es solamente el cambio del año, el retorno del año nuevo.
Friends, the turn of the year
Amigos, el retorno del año
is the time
es el tiempo
for Satan's power
para el poder de Satanás
to come against you,
de venir en contra de ti.
even as it's coming against the clean angel.
Así como está viniendo en contra de los malajín limpios.
If S.A.10
Si ese punto A punto tan
chose Pesach
hubiera escogido la Pascua
to try to get rid of the
para
Messiah,
intentar deshacerse del Mesías,
are we greater than the Mashiach?
somos nosotros mayores que el
He's
Mashiach.
going to use the same time to come against us.
Él va a usar el mismo tiempo para venir en
'Cause
contra de nosotros.
Yahweh doesn't change, but neither does the devil.
Porque
His
Yahweh no
MO is
cambia,
always the same.
ni tampoco el diablo. Su munición es siempre la misma.
When he knows Yahushua's supposed to show up,
Cuando él sabe que Yahushua está a punto de
celebrate with his
presentarse
people,
para celebrar con su pueblo,
Pesach,
la Pascua,
Chag Matzot,
la fiesta de los ácimos,
Shavuot,
la fiesta de las semanas,
the Feast of Oil,
la
the
fiesta
Feast of
del
wine,
aceite, del vino.
he shows up too.
Él se presenta de
That's
igual
why we
manera.
always have garbage going on at the
Y
feast.
es por eso que siempre hay cosas horribles.
I had one daughter of
en las
Jezebel show up at Sukkot,
fiestas.
says that God was going to kill me before next year. That was 7 years ago.
Hubo una mujer
She
que
went
se
around the
presentó
camp saying, Rabbi's going to be dead
diciendo
within
que
6
yo iba a
months.
morir en menos de 6 meses. Eso fue 7 años atrás.
You want to celebrate the feast?
¿Quieres
Good
celebrar
luck.
las fiestas? Buena suerte.
Because there's going to be unclean spirits that come against your life, your job, your career, your marriage, your family, your kehillah with lies and accusations, because he's the accuser of the brother. But that's just the beginning. The end is he will plan and prophesy your death. It is the appointed time for the powers of darkness to compete with the powers of light.
Si tú te decides comenzar a
Turn of the
celebrar
year when the
la
kings go to
Pascua,
war.
Si tú te decides
Turn of the year when kings go to war.
Si tú te decides comenzar a celebrar la Pascua, vas a descubrir que es un tiempo de muchas inestabilidad, de muchos ataques, porque es la temporada cuando los reyes van a guerrear.
Excessive depression,
Depresión
excessive
excesiva,
oppression.
Opresión excesiva.
Men and women of Yahuwah
Hombres y mujeres de Yahuwah,
thinking about just killing themselves.
pensando, meditando en matarse.
Rest of the year, they're calm.
El resto del año están calmados,
But for the last 60, 90 days, increased thoughts of suicide.
pero por los últimos 60, 90 yamim le incrementan los pensamientos del suicidio.
Yahushua said, you've come to destroy me
Yahushua dijo, has venido a destruirme
because it is your time
porque es tu tiempo,
for the powers of darkness to manifest more intensely.
para que los poderes de las tinieblas se comiencen a manifestar mucho más intensamente.
Go back to Gilead, Chasson,
Regresa a
Revelation
Indiana,
12.
Revelación 12.
There was a war in the Shamayim.
Había una guerra en los Shammai.
This war was being recorded by John on the island of Patmos,
Esta guerra estaba siendo grabada por Yohanan en la isla de Patmos,
given to him by Yahusha the Revelator.
dado a él por Yahushua el revelador.
John was not the revelator.
Yohanan no era el revelador.
In the church system, they go, oh, this is the revelation of John. No, it is not.
En la iglesia dicen que era la revelación de Juan. No, no lo era.
Revelation chapter 1, the revelation of Mashiach Yahusha.
Revelación capítulo 1 dice que es la revelación de Yahushua.
To show his servants those things that must surely come to pass.
Enseñando las cosas que ciertamente acontecerían.
The war, this is a war, listen to me, this is a war that was going on 2,000 years ago.
Esta es una guerra que estaba aconteciendo 2000 años atrás.
And Satan says, but you signed up for it. You call yourself an angel of light. You're going to celebrate the one who is going to who's going to torment me in the lake of fire, and you think I'm not going to do anything about it? You've come to celebrate and serve the one who's going to torment me in the lake of fire, and you think I'm not going to do anything about it? Welcome to Passover, brother. That's what all this stuff's been happening. That's exactly why it's been happening. There was war in the Shamayim. Michael, the warring Malach, and the clean Melachim fighting against the dragon. And the dragon fought 2,000 years ago with the heavenly Melachim. And he did not prevail. Neither were his soldiers found anymore in the Shamayim. That's the good news. What's the bad news? They're in Broward County. They're in Duval. They're in Dade. They're in Hillsborough. This is their season too. Not just your season. It's their season. And they're going to let you know it. There was no more place in heaven. So give them a place and they will destroy you. Open a door and they will destroy you. Hate, bitterness, anger, unforgiveness, false accusation. A life based on feelings and perceptions and not the word of Yahuwah. Yahuwah doesn't say honor your leaders. Yahuwah doesn't say honor your leaders. He says give double honor to those who labor in the word and doctrine. I ain't going to give nobody nothing. You just opened the door to the powers of darkness. And instead of it being about the Lamb, it's their season too. Because you opened the door. You got to close those doors. Sometimes you got to go back 20 years, 30 years to close those doors. And it starts about being honest. Satan will not prevail. Well, how do I close those doors? Stop blaming other people and playing the blame game. Take responsibility for your own behaviors, thoughts, and actions. Well, I'm not coming anymore because this one and that one. What about you one? What has changed in your heart? What have you opened in your heart? Thank you, brother. What have you opened in your heart? Then everybody will be smelling a lot sweeter. What have you opened? What door have you opened? Baruch Hashem Yahuwah. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. There's a war that we signed up for. There's an ongoing battle. The war is not over. Problem is, it's waged on earth. Because Yahuwah has evicted him thousands of years ago. Just like in heaven. S period A period 10 will lose. He will not prevail in the earth either. If we hold fast, if we resist him, steadfast in the faith. Not leaving the faith. Not leaving the community. Not outside the community. You resist him where there is strength. Where there is power. What power? The power of righteousness. The power of agreement. Yeah. If you're in agreement with yourself, you're not in the power of agreement. The community, the Kehillah, the assembly, and the power of agreement. Putting on the whole armor of Yahuwah. Resist him steadfast in the faith. When you blame the faith for your problems, how are you going to resist him steadfast in the faith? Go to James 4:7. I don't care what my computer says. I want the holy Ruach. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in ghosts. Yaakov 4:7.
4:7. Santiago, Jacob 4:7.
People want to prosper and thrive
La gente quiere crecer, triunfar
and fight the devil
y luchar contra el diablo.
outside of the faith.
Fuera de la fe.
Look at Yaakov 4:7.
Miren Jacob, Santiago 4:7.
Here's the way most people act.
Aquí es como la mayoría de la gente actúa.
Resist Satan
Resiste a ese punto a punto tal
and he will flee.
y él huirá.
Sorry, it doesn't work.
Perdón, pero no
Well,
funciona.
what about, but JR has a ministry.
Pero Jared tiene un
That's not his
ministerio.
ministry.
Ese no es su ministerio.
That's not what the scripture says.
Eso no es lo que dice la escritura.
James 4:7.
Jacob, Santiago
Resist
4:7.
Satan,
Resiste a Satanás.
he will flee.
Él huirá.
No, he won't.
No, no
Let's read the
huirá.
first part of the verse.
Leamos la primera parte del verso.
Submit
Sométete
to
a
Yahuwah
Yahuwah
and his faith
y a su fe
and his
y
people
a su pueblo
and his light.
y a su resplandor.
Stop blaming the light.
Deja de culpar al resplandor.
Stop blaming the people
Deja de culpar a la gente
instead of Satan, who is the real
en
enemy.
lugar de Satanás. Que
Let me help you out, sweetheart. I'm not your enemy.
Déjame ayudarte, querido. Yo no soy tu enemigo.
Steve is not your enemy.
Steve no es tu
Rivka's not your
enemigo.
enemy.
Rivka no es tu
You've been
enemiga.
deceived.
Has sido engañado.
You've been deceived.
Has sido engañado.
Satan is your enemy.
Satanás es tu enemigo.
Satan is your enemy.
Satanás es tu
That's the beginning of getting our head right.
Ese es el principio de corregir nuestras cabezas.
Submit to Yahuwah.
Sométanse a Yahuwah.
Then resist the devil.
Y luego resisten al diablo.
So we cannot resist the
Así
devil
que no podemos resistir al diablo.
unless we first submit to
Que
Yahuwah.
primero nos sometamos a
And part
Yahuwah.
of submission is to be accountable and submitted one to another, not a lone ranger.
Y parte de
A
la
lone ranger leads to a lone
Y
danger.
parte de la sumisión es someternos el uno al otro.
Can I get a witness?
El uno al otro. Un llanero solitario conduce a un a peligro solitario.
Lone rangerism leads to lone dangerism.
El estar como llanero solitario te puede poner en peligro de peligros aislados.
Go back to Chazon 12:9.
Regresemos a Jasón.
Wave at me if you're in Revelation 12:9.
12:9.
Wave at me. I'll wait till you wave at me. Revelation 12:9. Tov.
Revelación 12:9.
Tov, Tov. And the great dragon
Y fue lanzado el gran dragón,
was cast out,
fue lanzado fuera
the head serpentine,
la serpiente antigua,
the head serpent,
la serpiente antigua,
the head of this rebellion,
la cabeza de esta rebelión,
called Akelkartza.
que se llama Akelkartza,
Akelkartza, the enemy, the devil is an Aramaic term called the accuser,
el acusador,
who is called Satan.
que se conoce como Satanás,
The accuser who deceives the entire
el
olam.
cual engaña al mundo entero.
He is now working in New York, Boston, Chicago, and Miami.
Hoy está trabajando en donde quiera
And he's not alone.
y no está solo.
He has come with a whole legion of demons to destroy you.
Ha venido a la tierra y con sus ángeles
So how do I protect myself in my
para
house?
destruirte. Entonces, ¿cómo me protejo a mí mismo y a mi casa?
Submit
Me someto
to your leaders,
sométanse a sus
to your
líderes,
overseers,
a sus supervisores,
to the Ruach,
al espíritu Ruach,
to your
a sus
brothers,
fraternos,
to your
a sus
sisters.
fraternas.
Don't run from your sisters.
No corras de tus fraternas.
Don't run from the congregational mother.
No huyas de la
Don't
mamá
run
de
from
la
the
congregación.
congregational fathers.
No huyas de los papás de la congregación.
We've been so beaten and abused by our fathers and our parents and in this world that we equate spiritual oversight to family abuse. They are not the same.
Hemos sido tan abusados y maltratados por nuestros familiares biológicos que asociamos la corrección
I had to work my way
con los
through that.
líderes y los papás de la
I had to work my way through
Como la
that.
misma cosa.
I had to be delivered.
No es la misma cosa. Tuve que ser rescatado.
My father abused me.
Mi papá
What's
me
your
abusó.
excuse?
¿Cuál es tu excusa?
And because if it wasn't for the renewing of the
Si
mind,
no fuera por la renovación de la mente,
I would have projected that on my Heavenly
yo
Father
hubiera proyectado eso sobre mi
and not allowed Him to love me.
y no permitirle que me amara.
And everybody who was a pastor, teacher, evangelist, or had a title, I would automatically hate because they represented my Father. That's the grace of Yah
Esa es la ternura de
that broke those chains.
que quebrantó esas cadenas.
And now I don't love Him or hate Him. Well, it's not in the Bible. Yes, it is. It doesn't say I have to love someone who abused me. Free yourself. Free yourself. But you still have to honor him. I honor his seed. I am his seed. I honor his seed. I don't have to love him. I don't have to love the devil. Don't let religion lie to you and make you feel guilty. So he's cast into the olam, hungry for blood, trying to destroy the followers of the Lamb. He is not alone. He has much assistance in his powerful attempts to destroy us by accusation. Verse 10. Chazon 12:10. Yochanan says, I heard a loud voice in the Shamayim. Don't worry. Deliverance and strength and the Malchut of Eloha and the power of his Mashiach is coming against him. For the Akel Kartza, the accuser of the Israelite brethren, is cast down from heaven. He accused and slandered all of us before Elohim day and night. S.A.10 has brought his ministry of accusation, lying, condemnation, and division to the earth. He dishes out those things in large portions during the turn of the year as we head toward Passover, as we'll see later in 1 Corinthians 11 in a few weeks. The Corinthian assembly had such divisions and such schisms that they canceled Passover. I'm going to show you that in a few weeks. The enemy, I'm not unsusceptible to the devil, attacks of the enemy. I was thinking, let's cancel tomorrow. Let's cancel. There's too much happening. Out of mercy for people, they have other problems. So none of us are unsusceptible. We all are susceptible. Baruch Hashem Yahuwah. In Corinthians 11, don't turn there, 1 Corinthians 11, there were such divisions and schisms and hatred and accusations. They did not even hold Passover, they canceled it. Due to strife, division, accusation, egos, agendas, gluttony, selfishness, and such. We have also had that in the Miami days. So this is the season. Yahushua said, this is your time. The manifestation of the armies of darkness, not just the Akel Kartza, but the armies of darkness. Friend, you need the community now more than ever. Come back. You need the community now more than ever. It is in your isolation that you will make your grave with the wicked. Even Moshe died in the land of Moab. Like Machlon and Shilion. But here's the good news. This is also the season of the Dam of the Lamb. It's our season. It's the season of the blood of the Lamb. It's the season, verse 11, of the word of our testimony in the blood of the Lamb. And we love that message that redeemed us and gave us another chance at eternal life.
dio la Jaín perpetua, nos redimió y nos rescató.
We're willing to fight the devil that's attacking our loved ones in the community and in the camp.
Dispuestos a atacar el enemigo que está atacando a nuestros familiares y nuestros amigos en la comunidad y en el campamento.
As we love not our life, even if required to die for others.
Al no amar nuestra vida, aunque se requiera morir por alguien más.
So the season is intense.
Así que esta temporada es intensa.
Legions of armies of the sons of darkness,
Las legiones,
Passover, preparation is their season.
esta es la temporada de esas legiones de las tinieblas.
But we also are called to prepare, right?
Igual a nosotros
For
se nos
Pesach.
dice prepararnos para la Pascua.
So the season of preparation between light and darkness is spiritual warfare.
Así que la temporada de preparación para esa guerra entre las tinieblas y el resplandor es guerra espiritual.
It's so intense that Yahuwah warned us and protected us on that first Passover with the blood on the doorposts.
Es tan intensa que Yahuwah nos protegió al poner esa sangre en los dinteles de las casas.
Why?
¿Por qué?
Because of Satan?
¿Por causa de Satanás?
No.
No.
Because of some of his soldiers.
Porque a causa de algunos de sus soldados.
We read in the book of Jubilees 49 and 50.
Leemos en el libro de Jubileos 49 y 50.
He says, Mastima,
Dice, Mastima,
the destroying angel,
el ángel destructor,
will go forth
irá hacia adelante
to kill the firstborn.
para matar al primogénito.
So not only we have the Akel
Así
Kartza,
que no solamente tenemos a la Kelkarza,
we have some kind of angel of darkness,
pero tenemos algún ángel de tinieblas,
a prince of
un
darkness,
príncipe de tinieblas,
not Ozzy Osbourne,
no Ozzy Osbourne,
contrary to popular opinion,
contrario a la opinión popular,
who heads Satan's army.
que encabeza el ejército de
He's
Satanás.
called Abaddon
Se conoce como Abaddon
in Hebrew
en el hebreo
and Apollyon
y Apolión
in Greek.
en el griego.
He sees you getting ready for
Él ve que
Passover.
te estás preparando para la Pascua.
His leader, his father,
Sus líderes,
S period, A period, 10,
sus líderes, su papá ese punto A punto tan,
sends him before the hosts of darkness.
lo envía delante de los ejércitos de las tinieblas.
His name is
Su nombre-
Abaddon
Su nombre es Abaddon
and Apollyon
y Apolión
in Greek.
en el griego.
The Akel Kartza slanders us
El Akeokarza nos acusa
and mocks our testimony about Moshiach's blood.
y se burla de nuestro testimonio acerca de la sangre.
He
de
mocks
Mashiach.
us because he has no weapon
No se burla de nosotros porque no tiene arma.
with which to respond to the blood of the Passover lamb. I'll say that again. He has no weapon to respond or overcome to the blood of the Passover lamb, so he tries to take you out. He can't negate the blood of the Passover lamb, but he can take you out from celebrating it and losing your testimony and losing your power by no longer resisting him in the faith. You're ready to cast the faith aside when the faith is designed for you to resist Abaddon and Apollyon. Come back to the faith. Baruch Hashem, Yahuwah. Akel Kartza hates you
El Akeokarza te odia
because he hates the blood that cleaned you.
porque odia la sangre que te
Right?
limpió.
Common sense.
Sentido común.
He hates the blood that cleaned you.
Él odia la sangre que te limpió.
The blood of redemption.
La sangre de la redención.
He is revengeful.
Él es vengativo
And he will take his revenge against the unguarded and the unprepared.
y quiere tomar su venganza en contra de los que no
At
están
Pesach.
protegiéndose en la
How do I get prepared?
¿Cómo me preparo?
Love your brother.
Ama a tu prójimo.
Love your sister.
Ama a tu prójima.
Thank Yah for them.
Dale a Jodó a Yahuwah por ellos.
You think I'm making this stuff up?
Piensas que estoy inventando
Because we're having issues in the camp?
que estamos teniendo problemas en el campamento.
1 Corinthians 11.
Primera de Corintios 11.
It says, before you take the bread and take the blood,
Dice, antes de tomar el pan, el ejem y la sangre,
guard your heart.
protege tu corazón.
Make sure there's no bitterness and hatred.
Confirma que no haya amargura ni odio.
I'll tell you why.
Te digo por qué.
Paul says, because some are sick,
Dice porque, Shaul, porque algunos están enfermos.
some are ill,
Algunos están
some have
enfermos.
died
Algunos han muerto.
because they've celebrated Passover,
Que han celebrado la Pascua.
being hateful and bitter
Habiendo odiado y teniendo
against
amargura
others in Corinth.
en contra de otros en Corinto.
Right? Read it.
Léelo.
Read it.
Léelo.
So it's better that a person that is angry and bitter not come
Entonces es mejor que una persona que está
to
enojada
Passover.
y amargada
Watch.
no venga a la Pascua porque
to protect their soul.
para proteger a su ser.
Go home and read 1 Corinthians 11.
Vete a casa y lee Primera de Corintios.
People can get sick and die
La gente puede morir y enfermarse
from celebrating Pesach
por causa de celebrar la
with a
Pascua
wrong spirit.
con un
It's
espíritu
better that they
errado.
don't come.
Es mejor que no vengan.
That's what 1 Corinthians 11
Es
says.
lo que nos dice
And at the right time and the right
de
season,
Corintios
they can
11.
return to Pesach.
Es lo que nos dice Primera de Corintios 11 y en el tiempo correcto, en el tiempo señalado, cuando ya hayan sanado de eso, pueden regresar a la Pascua.
Satan hates you
Satanás te odia
because you love the blood
porque tú amas a la sangre
that destroyed him,
que lo destruyó a
that
él,
will destine him to burn in the lake of fire and brimstone.
que lo designó y designará a ser quemado en el lago de fuego.
Nothing gives him more pleasure than to take you out at the season of his demise.
Nada le da
Come
más
on,
placer,
somebody.
pero eliminar
I'm preaching better than some of y'all acting today. You know that and I know that. We might as well just get real with each other.
no le da más gozo a él que destruirte
Can I hear a good amen?
durante la temporada de su muerte.
If his revenge can be so sweet
Su venganza puede ser tan dulce
at Passover,
en la Pascua.
because you're celebrating the blood that saved you,
Estás celebrando la sangre que te rescató,
the very blood that condemned him to damnation.
la misma sangre que lo condenó a la condena.
It gives him great pleasure to destroy you anytime,
Le da gran placer destruirte en cualquier momento,
as a Talmud or Talmidah.
como aprendice de él.
But if he can take you out
Pero si él te puede sacar
while you're getting ready for
mientras que te
Passover,
estás preparando
ho,
para la
ho,
Pascua,
ho. Merry Christmas
feliz
for the
Navidad
devil.
para el diablo.
If he had to choose a time to take you out,
Si él
this
tuvo
would be it.
que escoger un tiempo para sacarte, este sería él.
And we just read that
Y lo acabamos de leer
in Luke 22.
en Lucas 22.
Baruch Hashem Yahuwah.
Baruch Hashem Yahuwah.
Look at, I'm sorry, don't look at anything. So for us,
Así que para nosotros
it's a time to
es un
rejoice.
tiempo para regocijar.
For us, it's a time to celebrate.
Para nosotros es tiempo para celebrar.
But it's also a time to be on high guard and high alert.
Pero igual es un tiempo de estar súper apercibidos, súper vigilantes.
We are called to be watchmen on the
Se nos
walls.
dice ser vigiladores en las paredes.
Does anybody
guardias.
other than Benjamin know the Hebrew word for watchman?
¿Sabe alguien?
And maybe Annette might know it.
¿Cuál es la palabra hebrea para observador?
The Hebrew word for watchman.
La palabra hebrea para guardián.
Netzarim.
Nezarín.
Nazarenes.
Nazareno.
Are we not Nazarene Israelites?
Somos nazarenos israelitas.
We're called to be watchmen.
Somos llamados a ser observadores.
We're getting ready to
Nos
rejoice.
estamos preparando para regocijar.
Like Nehemiah, with one hand, we're building the kingdom. We're coming to celebrate the blood.
Como Nehemías estamos viniendo y preparándonos para celebrar la sangre.
But being on high alert and high guard with the other hand,
Pero estando en alta vigilancia con la otra mano.
we're keeping away Akel Karza
Estamos
and Apollyon from descending upon us and destroying us before we get to that table.
Estamos manteniendo lejos a la Keokarza, al acusador y a Apolión antes de nosotros llegar a esa mesa.
If you're going to spill blood,
Si vas a derramar sangre,
like circumcision,
como la circuncisión,
best time to do it is
el mejor tiempo
getting
de
ready for
hacerlo
Passover.
es a la preparación de
Because
la
that
Pascua.
is another finger in the eye of Satan.
Porque ese es otro dedo al
It's the
ojo de
battle over the
Satanás.
blood.
Es la batalla
I will
contra
spill
la
your
sangre.
blood because you love that blood.
Yo
That blood that destroyed me. So I will spill your blood.
Porque tú amaste esa sangre que me
Great
quiere
time to be
destruir.
circumcised.
Así que es un gran tiempo para ser circuncidado.
Which is why Yahuwah said,
La razón por la cual Yahuwah
whoever wants to eat the Passover, let him spill blood.
la persona que quiera comer la Pascua que derrame
Right?
sangre.
The blood of redemption.
La sangre del
The
árbol.
blood of the covenant.
La sangre del convenio.
So if you get circumcised
Así que si tú eres circuncidado
in preparation for Pesach,
en preparación para la
I got
Pascua,
bad news for you.
te tengo
You need
malas
another
noticias.
cup of coffee to handle this. You're at the top of Satan's list.
Tú estás ahí
Because
en
you're
la-
obedient. You've been obedient. You prepared for Passover by being obedient.
Porque te has preparado para la Pascua al serle obediente.
You're at the top of the hit list.
Estás arriba en la
But
lista
don't worry.
de golpe. Pero no te
You have and you will overcome him by the blood of the Lamb
y a través de la sangre del Cordero.
and your testimony in that Passover blood.
En esa sangre pascual.
Because without the Passover blood, we're nothing.
Porque sin la sangre pascual no
We're dead.
somos nada, estamos muertos.
We're all disciples of Satan.
Todos somos aprendices de Satanás.
And our civilization will end just like the pre-Adamic civilization of Genesis 1:1.
Y nuestra civilización
Without the blood of the Passover lamb,
morirá, así como la civilización de Génesis
1:1.
1:1.
Our civilization would end.
Sin la redención del Cordero Pascual, finalizaría nuestra civilización.
Like it ended before.
Como acabó anteriormente.
When did it end before?
Cuando acabó anteriormente.
Cities, villages.
Ciudades, aldeas.
We had skyscrapers throughout the earth.
Teníamos
Trains,
rascacielos,
internet,
trenes,
everything we have now we used to have.
Todo lo que tenemos hoy, antes lo teníamos.
What are you talking about?
¿De qué está hablando usted?
When you go home, go to Jeremiah chapter 4, you'll understand
Cuando
what I'm
vayan a
talking
casa,
about.
vayan a Jeremías 4 y
Read Jeremiah chapter 4.
entenderán de lo que estoy hablando. Jeremías capítulo 4.
In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth.
En el principio Yahweh creó los Shamaim y la tierra.
Verse 2.
Verso 2.
And the earth became,
Y la tierra se
it
hizo.
wasn't created that way, the earth became
La tierra llegó a ser
tovavo,
Tobabó,
confused,
confundida,
mixed up.
mixta.
So Yahweh didn't create a dark, cold, frozen earth with no structure, because everything Yahweh makes, Ecclesiastes, is beautiful.
Yahweh no creó un mundo frío, sin forma, sin perfección, porque todo lo que crea Yahweh es precioso, como dice Eclesiastés.
So something happened between verse 1 and verse 2.
Así que algo pasó entre el verso 1 y el verso 2. Eclesiastes,
What happened? I believe it's 12. What happened?
¿Qué pasó?
I'm not sure about that. I have to check. What happened to the
¿Qué
earth?
pasó con la tierra?
Satan,
Satanás,
the God of this
el
world,
Dios de este mundo,
prevailed
prevaleció
against the pre-Adamic
en
order.
contra de la orden preadámica.
And what we read in Genesis is not the creation of the world.
Y lo que leemos
It is the
en Génesis
regeneration of
No
civilization.
es la creación del mundo, sino la regeneración de la civilización.
We are to watch more
Tenemos que observar más
than the 1 hour.
que una sha'a.
The disciples failed the test.
Cuando los aprendices
As
fallaron la
Netzarim.
prueba, como Netzarim,
To watch in the Garden of Gethsemane,
de observar en el jardín de Getsemaní,
which housed the Mount of Olives,
lo que donde está
Golgotha, the skull.
donde está el monte de las olivas, Golgota, la calavera.
Why was it called Golgotha or the skull?
Porque se conocía como Golgota.
Because
o la
it was a
calavera,
place where Genesis 3:15 would be fulfilled.
porque es el lugar donde
He will bruise your heel, but you shall bruise his heel, but he shall crush your skull
es donde
at the place of the skull.
Es donde en Génesis 3:15 se manifestaría la profecía
the skull.
de que tú herirás su pie y él aplastará tu cabeza.
He bled in the Mount of Olives in the Garden of Gethsemane.
Derramó su sangre en el monte de los olivos,
7 times.
en el jardín de Getsemaní 7 veces.
He bled more on the tree of sacrifice.
Derramó su sangre más en el árbol de la ofrenda.
The Mount of Olives is all about the blood of the Lamb.
El monte de los olivos se trata todo de la sangre del cordero.
And the Nazarenes, the 12
Y
Nazarenes,
los 12 nazarenos
did not do their
no
job.
hicieron su trabajo.
He said, could you not
Él dijo,
pray with me?
¿que no pueden orar conmigo?
And could you not stay
¿Que
with
no
me
pueden quedarse conmigo?
against the Akel
En
Karza
contra del acusador
for 1 hour?
por una sha'a.
Hello?
Hola,
Well, you know, I like that place,
que sabes, me gusta ese lugar.
some of the services
Algunos de los servicios
boring.
son aburridos.
Yeah, you know, and the
Sí, sabes que
5-hour messages.
mensajes de 5 sha'ot.
Do we really need? Yes, you do.
Realmente
Yeah,
necesitamos,
yeah,
sí, lo necesitas.
The Titanic was 6 hours.
El Titánico era
I didn't see
6
you
horas.
move. You and your popcorn didn't move.
Yo no vi que tú y tus palomitas se hayan movido.
You watched the NBA doubleheader. There were 2 games that were on. You didn't see you move except to go pee-pee.
No te veo moverte cuando hay un doble tornamento de basquetbol.
No, say the pee-pee. I didn't see you move except to go pee-pee.
No te vi moverte más que para ir a orinar.
Come on.
¿Ves?
They failed the test.
Fallaron la prueba.
They knew it. When did the disciples go to sleep after an hour?
¿Cuándo se durmieron los
When?
los
At
apóstoles? En
Pesach.
la Pascua.
He wants to put you to sleep.
Él quiere ponerte a dormir.
Knock you out.
Tumbarte.
Give up.
darte
Nobody
protección.
cares.
A nadie le importa.
How many times before you came here did the enemy come to you and say, nobody cares?
¿Cuántas veces antes de que llegaras aquí te dijo
Nobody
el
will
enemigo
miss you.
que a nadie le importará, que nadie te va a extrañar,
They really don't want you there
que
anyway.
realmente ni te quieren ahí?
Hallelujah, brother.
Aleluya.
Oh, you mean the enemy talks to you too?
Oh, quiere decir que el enemigo también te habla.
Yeah.
Sí.
Sometimes the enemy is that little sponge in my
A
brain
veces el enemigo es esa esponjita en mi cerebro,
tuned into his wavelength.
sintonizada a su transmisión.
Doesn't matter if anybody likes you here. Doesn't matter if anybody wants you
No
here.
importa
What
si
matters
nadie
is,
te quiere, nadie
did
te
Yahweh put you in that seat or did man put you in that seat? Because if man put you in that seat, man can take you out of that seat.
Lo que importa es si Yahweh te trajo aquí. Si te
A smarter
trajo
man,
Yahweh,
a more
nadie te
powerful
puede
man,
traer,
a wiser
quitar.
man. Baruch Hashem Yahuwah. How do I know someone's called to this ministry?
¿Cómo sé si alguien es llamado a este ministerio?
Very simple.
Muy simple.
How many times have you heard me say this?
¿Cuántas veces me has oído decir?
When they try to leave, when they try to leave,
Cuando intentan irse,
they'll be back
regresarán,
because they're called here.
porque son llamados a...
How do I know? How do I know when they're not called
¿Cómo
here?
sabemos cuando no son
Because
llamados?
when they try to stay,
Porque cuando intentan quedarse,
even though they'll pull teeth to try to stay, they won't be able to.
no podrán.
You watch.
Ven.
The people that are really called here will
La
never
gente
leave
que son llamados
until
a
Yahweh
estar
tells
aquí,
them to leave.
nunca se pueden ir hasta que Yahweh les dice que se van.
Baruch Hashem Yahuwah.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
So I'm not really worried about folks.
Así que realmente no me preocupo de las personas.
But when you're not called to a place and you try to stay, you can't.
Pero cuando no eres llamado a un lugar
Because
y
the next
tratas de
offense is going to
quedarte,
come and shake you.
no puedes porque la próxima ofensa te viene a sacudir.
We don't realize that, but we offend people and people offend us.
Pero nosotros
It's just
ofendemos a
part
la
of
gente,
human intercourse.
y la gente nos
I don't mean
ofende a
sexual, I
nosotros.
mean intercourse. It's
Eso
just
es
part of
parte-
life.
Eso es parte de la vida, ofendernos el uno al otro.
The difference is when a couple is married, they offend themselves one another all the time, but they have the motivation to forgive and to work through it. But when we're with this bunch, when someone offends us, let them go to hell. We don't have the motivation to work through it and stick it out.
Cuando estamos casados tenemos la motivación para poder perdurar, para poder vencer las adversidades.
Married, we have the
las
motivation. We don't want to
Pero
mess things up.
si estamos en comunidad, no tenemos la motivación de continuar.
But I say that it is as important to fight for the bond of unity in the camp as it is in your marriage. It's
Pero
as
digo
important.
que es igual de importante luchar por ese yugo de unidad en la comunidad, así como lo es en tu convenio de boda.
Verse 12.
Verso 12.
Therefore, Gilah, you heavens, and you that dwell in them.
Por lo tanto,
Revelation
ustedes,
12:12.
Shamayim, y ustedes que moran en ellos, revelación.
Woe to the humanoids in the earth.
Hay de los humanos en la tierra.
Woe to the humanoids that are buried in the sea,
Moradores en la tierra y los que están en el mar.
and the beasts.
Y las bestias.
For S. Tam has brought his traveling show to you,
Porque el diablo ha descendido a ustedes
so you are now in a war even though you don't know it.
con gran ira y ya se encuentran en una guerra aunque no lo sepan.
He took the heavenly war and expanded it to earth
Tomó esa guerra de los Shamaim y la expandió a la tierra
to destroy as many humans as he can because he knows he has a short time
para destruir a todos los seres humanos que pueda, ya que sabe que tiene un tiempo muy corto
before he's destined to burn in the lake of
antes
fire.
que sea designado a ser quemado en el lago de fuego.
That's why Passover is the heightened season of angelic
Y
wrestling.
es por eso que la Pascua es la temporada mucho más intensa de la lucha
Pay
de
attention.
los Shamaim.
Clean angels
Los ángeles limpios
are protecting the woman,
están protegiendo a la mujer,
Israel,
a Israel,
in her struggle to serve and please Yahuwah.
en su lucha por servir y complacer a Yahuwah.
Baruch Hashem Yahuwah.
Baruch Hashem Yahuwah.
Unclean angels
Los espíritus
are
inmundos
trying to destroy
están queriendo
Israel
destruir a Israel
so that they cannot celebrate
para que no puedan celebrar
the nullification
la nulificación
of S. period
de ese punto
A.
a
period
punto
10.
tan.
We're going to go deeper in the next few weeks. I want to leave you with a couple of more fascinating looks.
Vamos a profundizar mucho más en las próximas semanas, pero les quiero dejar con unas vistas muy fascinantes antes de concluir por hoy.
Bereshit 19.
Vamos a Bereshit, Génesis 19.
Genesis 19.
Bereshit 19.
Turn there. Let me know. Wave at me when you're there, please.
Cuando lleguen ahí, háganmelo saber. Génesis 19.
Okay. Anyone else? Genesis 19:1.
Génesis 19:1.
Todah. There came two heavenly melachim.
Llegaron pues los dos malachim de los Shemaim.
Circle those words, melachim, angels.
Ilumina esas palabras ángeles.
Dos.
Malachim,
Dos ángeles.
dos malachim ángeles.
Dos mensajeros.
Mensajeros.
Mensajeros. I also said, almost said sombreros. Dos sombreros. No, sorry. Dos melachim.
Dos malachim.
To Sodom in the Erev.
Llegaron a Sodoma a la caída de la tarde.
And Lot sat in the gate of Sodom.
Y Lot estaba sentado en la entrada de Sodoma.
Lot, seeing the two melachim,
Y viéndolos Lot,
rose to meet them.
se levantó a recibirlos.
He bowed himself before the
Se
angels
inclinó hacia el suelo delante de ellos.
with his face toward the ground.
Se inclinó hacia el suelo con su cara hacia la tierra.
Lot said, now my master angels, turn in here and make this a motel.
Y dijo, ya mis amos, les ruego que entren y que moren aquí, vengan a mi casa
Mi casa es su casa.
a hospedarse.
Please come into your Eved's Bayit and stay all night.
Vengan y quédense ahí toda la laila.
Take a jacuzzi if you like.
Les lavaré sus pies.
Wash your feet. Get a massage, whatever makes you happy. I'm at your service.
Estoy para servirles.
And then get up early and go your way.
Y por la mañana se pueden levantar y seguir por su camino.
They said, no, we're going to stay out on the street all night.
Y ellos dijeron, no, en la calle nos quedaremos esta laila.
So Lot continued to pressure them greatly.
Hacer porfió con ellos mucho.
And they turned in to his
Y
house
fueron con él y entraron a su casa.
to stay with him.
Y se quedaron con él.
And he made them a
Y les
feast
hizo banquete,
known as the Passover.
conocida como la Pascua.
How do I know it was Passover?
¿Cómo sabemos que era la Pascua?
Because he baked matzah
Porque coció panes
to eat.
sin levadura para comer. Para
Okay,
cocinar.
so he was celebrating Pesach
Así que él estaba celebrando la Pascua.
and unleavened bread.
Los hacimos sin levadura.
Okay, this is like the patriarchs before the giving of
Como
Torah.
los ancestros antes de la dádiva de Torah.
He made a feast.
Les hizo una fiesta, un banquete.
What moed is called Chag Matzot?
¿Qué fiesta se
Hello?
conoce como la fiesta?
What moed is called Chag
Los
Matzot?
hacemos sin levadura.
Chag Matzot,
Hag Matzot.
the feast of unleavened
La
bread.
fiesta de los hacemos sin levadura.
He was already making a feast.
Ya estaba haciendo la fiesta.
Now, we don't have the rest of it in front of us,
No tenemos el resto de ello.
but
aquí
if we
frente a
continue
nosotros.
reading Genesis
Pero
19,
si continuamos leyendo Génesis 19,
at Passover,
ahí en la Pascua,
the men of the city
hombres de la ciudad
began knocking the door down.
comenzaron a tocar en la puerta queriendo
Oh, my, who them two fine looking boys?
diciendo, qué muchachos tan guapos.
Bring them out.
Sáquenlos.
See, that's why the angels didn't want to go into the house.
Ven, por eso los ángeles no querían entrar
Because
en la
they
casa,
knew
porque
that the
sabían
unclean angels
que los ángeles inmundos
in Sodom
en Sodoma
would violate the Pesach.
transgredirían la Pascua.
They would come to destroy the Pesach
Vendrían a destruir la Pascua
that Lot was celebrating.
que estaba celebrando
And
Lot.
because the clean angels had respect for the Passover and unleavened bread,
A causa de que los malachim limpios tenían el respeto por la Pascua y los
they said,
ángeles
we
sin
want to
levadura,
stay on the street.
dijeron, nos vamos a quedar en la
Why?
calle. ¿Por qué?
Because they were poor and homeless.
Porque eran pobres y sin
To
hogar.
put a shield or a border
No, para poner un escudo, una defensa
around Lot, who was celebrating Passover.
alrededor de Lot, quien estaba celebrando la Pascua.
But they said, no, come in.
Pero dijeron, no, entren.
They wanted to stay out.
Ellos querían quedarse afuera.
But they said, if we're being invited to celebrate Passover and unleavened bread, let us go in the house.
Pero dijeron, si estamos siendo invitados a celebrar la Pascua y los hacemos sin levadura, entremos a la casa.
So we have angelic
Así
wrestling.
que tenemos lucha angelical.
The righteous angels to protect Lot and his family during Pesach,
Tzadikim para proteger a Lot y a su familia durante la Pascua.
and the army of the fat goats.
Y el ejército de los homosexuales.
So in Exodus 12, you have the goats for Yahuwah,
Así
right?
que en Éxodo 12 tenemos los chivos para Yahuwah.
You can have a lamb or a goat. Hello?
Puedes tener un cordero o
If you don't have a lamb, you can have a goat.
Si no tienes un cordero, puedes tener un chivo.
Who were the messengers that were knocking on the door? They were unclean demons that were fueling the fat goats to stop the celebration of the goat.
Eran demonios homosexuales que querían impedir la celebración del chivo expiatorio.
Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem.
So what a coincidence
Así que coincidencia
that this Remember we just read, be careful, O earth,
Acuérdense que acabamos de leer, cuidado tierra,
and you who dwell in the earth,
ay de la tierra y de los moradores de la
because the
tierra.
Akel Karza and his commander Apollyon
Porque el Akeokarza es su
have
comandante
come down
Apollón.
to you.
El acusador han descendido a ustedes.
And they're not starting a new war with you. They're expanding the battlefield so they can kill you also.
Y no están iniciando una nueva guerra con ustedes.
Wow.
Están expandiendo el campo de guerra para matarlos a ustedes.
And you came here because you thought it was cool.
Y vinieron aquí porque pensaron que era chévere.
You tried Catholicism, Protestantism, aloneism, and then you go, oh,
el catolicismo,
I think I'll try the Jewish stuff.
el estar solo. Oh, creo que voy a probar las cosas judías.
You want to try the Jewish stuff?
¿Quieres probar las cosas judías?
And you're not understanding that you signed up for
¿No
warfare?
has entendido que te estás registrando para la guerra espiritual?
Because the devil's knocking on the door of
El
Israel.
diablo está tocando en la entrada de Israel.
I said the devil is knocking on the door of
El
Israel.
diablo está tocando en la entrada de Israel.
And the devil is saying, come out to us,
Y el diablo está diciendo, vengan aquí afuera a nosotros,
that we may know you.
para que los podamos conocer.
When the Bible talks about yada or no, it is intercourse, or in this case, sodomy. I don't believe in homosexuality. I believe the Bible calls it sodomy.
Cuando la escritura habla de conocer,
Stupid man, stupid man's laws.
está hablando de sodomía.
They say, oh my gosh, there's a sexual predator.
Dicen, oh,
Really?
hay un predador
Yeah.
sexual.
An older man had relations with a younger girl.
Hombre
Younger? Yeah, like
viejo
she was
está
16
teniendo
and ready to
relaciones
roll.
Con una mujer joven. Tenía 16 años y estaba lista para
Uh-huh. And your ordinances call that
La
sodomy?
ordenanza se conoce como
Excuse
sodomía.
me.
Perdone.
That would have made Joseph and Mary sodomites.
Eso hubiera hecho que José y María fueran sodomitas.
Nothing wrong with sex between an older man and a 16-year-old or a 17-year-old. Nothing wrong with it.
No
So
hay
then
nada
what
malo
is sodomy?
con
Sodomy is
de un hombre
the anal
mayor
penetration
y una
of two
muchacha
males.
de 16
Period.
o 17
It has nothing to do with a man having love with a younger woman. Zero.
No tiene nada que ver
You see how
con
Yah's ways are different than man's ways?
teniendo
You see how Yah's ways are
relaciones.
completely different? Now, we're not talking about children. Yah forbid. We're not talking about children. We're talking about teenagers. Okay, very simple. So they're like, can we know them? We want to come against you, pull your daughters and your sons, what? Away from Passover. They didn't know they were angels. Pull them away from Passover so we may destroy these two clean angels. These were two, are you getting this or did I lose you? These are two clean angels.
Estos eran dos ángeles limpios y quieren atacar a los hijos de Lot,
So
a las
Satan
hijas de Lot, para jalar a los malachim limpios y destruirlos.
raised up the Sodomites
Así que Satanás levantó a los sodomitas
as his representatives
como sus representantes
to continue the war.
para continuar
Hello?
la guerra.
To continue the heavenly war in Lot's house.
Continuar la guerra de
Hello?
los Shamaim en la casa.
That was the heavenly war, and they wanted to bring it into Lot's
Esa
house.
era una guerra de los Shamaim y querían
We got all this
llegar
now?
a la casa de Lot.
Sodomy is not what the state and the churchy tell you it is.
La sodomía no es lo que el
It is
Estado y
two
la
men
iglesia te dicen.
anal penetration. It is not an older man marrying a 17-year-old. Let Yah be true and every man a liar. I'll tell you the truth, even if you don't want to hear it.
La sodomía es la relación sexual entre dos hombres teniendo sexual
And make no apologies for it.
teniendo relaciones sexuales sodomitas. No es la relación entre un hombre mayor y una mujer.
Let's close with
joven
this, 'cause it's getting hot in
que esté
here.
dispuesta a tener relaciones íntimas con él.
Let's find an escape route. Turn with me, please, to Shemot 12.
Vayan conmigo a Shemot, Éxodo 12.
So understand that all that I just taught you in Genesis 19 is Passover angels, man, going back and forth in Sodom and Gomorrah. This is the heavenly war. Come down.
Así que entiendan que esto que acaban de aprender de Génesis 19 es esa guerra de los Shamaim, de los cielos, que está descendiendo aquí a la tierra, a nuestros hogares.
Exodus 12.
Éxodo Shemot 12.
We pick it up in verse 23.
Comenzamos con el verso 23. Éxodo 12, 23.
Yahuwah will pass through
Yahuwah pasará
to smite the Mitzrim.
para golpear a los egipcios.
I don't know what that word Mitzrim means. There are different variations. I like to think of it as the troublemakers. The Hebrew word for tzara is trouble. Those who enslaved us were troublemakers against Yahweh. That's my interpretation. I don't know if that's what it really means, but I know Hebrew, and I see that root word tzara, mitzarim, or the troublemakers against the chosen people. And it's probably not the right definition, but I don't care. It's my definition. Baruch Hashem Yahuwah. So don't write me letters about what it really means and that I don't know Hebrew. אני מדבר עברית יותר טוב מאתכם, מכל אתכם. זה בדיוק. Did I impress you? I hope so. For Yahuwah will pass through to smite the troublemakers who are enslaving you. But when he sees the blood of the lamb, the dam, upon your lentils and your lentil soup, only kidding, sorry, on the two, nobody's laughing, so I must have struck out, on the two doorposts of your heart, of the door, Yahuwah will pass over you, and he will not allow. Now notice, definite article, the destroyer. That's not Satan. It's not Yahuwah. It's an angel of death on assignment. Who's doing the assigning? The Akel Karza. Under the permissive hand of Yahuwah. I will not allow, we're in verse 23, Exodus 12:23. I will not allow Apollyon or Abiadon, Eved, slave, the slaved one, the enslaved one, the destroyer, to come into your homes. That's where we celebrate Passover, not in the church, not in the synagogue, not in the Holiday Inn ballroom. Oh, I've been invited to Passover. It's only $29. Oh, don't just slouch. Let's bring the whole crew. No, you celebrate Passover in your house. In the house. That's the biblical Passover before the temple was built.
Esa era la Pascua antes de que fuera construido el templo.
I will destroy the destroyer.
Destruirá al destructor.
Just like in Sodom and Gomorrah in Genesis 19.
Así como en Sodoma y Gomorra, Génesis 19.
And I will not allow the destroying angel to come into your house.
Permitiré que el ángel destructor entre a tu casa.
When I see the dam,
cuando vea yo la sangre,
on the two side posts and the lintel of your home.
De tu casa.
Look at me, please.
Déjame, por favor.
If we have a door,
si tenemos una entrada,
the lintel,
la puerta,
the doorposts,
está el dintel y los postes,
la cruz de Jesús. Cruz. So if he died on a tree or execution stake or a vanilla lollipop, I don't know. What I do know is when the blood drips down,
lo que sé es que cuando se derrama la sangre en esa
and the two posts, right?
Los dos postes y los dinteles,
it forms a tuf. Could be a tuf. Could be a towel. Could be a this. Could be a that. Let's not argue. The point is, it's the gospel.
Es el evangelio.
The destroyer is an agent of darkness. The destroyer Apollyon is one of his top, if not top, lieutenants. Known in Hebrew as the Malach HaMavet, the angel of death. This demon is still alive. You've been going through hell.
Has pasado por el infierno.
Because the Malach HaMavet is roaming the earth.
Está yendo por
this is a season of your destruction or your victory.
Esta es la temporada de tu destrucción.
And it's your victory by the blood of the Lamb. And if you're faithful to the end. And if you don't give up and you don't quit and you resist him, steadfast in the faith. This is the hour of darkness. This is the hour of light. This is the hour of your testing. Will you succumb to the powers of darkness? Or will you overcome by the power of light? This is a season where everything hangs in the balance. You guys just got married in this season. Danger or victory. That's the struggle. Light versus darkness.
Esa es la lucha.
Advance or retreat.
Resplandor o tinieblas, avanzar o retirar.
The destroyer.
El destructor.
Malach HaMavet.
El Malach HaMavet.
The mass murderer of the first Passover
El asesino en masa de la
is still alive. I'm going to say that again. The mass murderer that killed all the sons of Egypt, the firstborn, is still alive, and he is now going after Israel's firstborn. And who is Israel's firstborn? You are. I am. We are the congregation of the firstborn whose names are recorded where? In the heavens.
Y tú y yo somos los primogénitos del Cordero, quien ha escrito nuestros nombres en el libro de la vida del Cordero.
I've said too much,
But you haven't said enough.
but I haven't said enough. I'm going to give you two scriptures. Don't cry for me, Yisrael. Matthew 26:18.
Mateo 26:18.
No, I'm going to give you this. I don't care what the clock says. I'm going to give you this. Turn to your neighbor and says he's going to give it to you now.
He's going to give it to you.
In love. Hi. Let's take a look at some angelic guidance at Passover. A good angelic guidance. One of the good ones.
Durante la Pascua.
Versus that mass murderer who's still doing his thing and wants to come into your house if you let him in. Oh, he's the problem. She's the problem. I don't like him. I don't like her. If you come here, I don't like this one. I don't like this one. Who told you to come here and like anybody? You're taught to come here and learn how to love. Don't go around and talking about love in the second greatest commandment. We're not born knowing love. We are born again, so we are repositioned to learn how to love our neighbor as ourselves. It's not easy. It's a learning process.
Esto es un proceso de aprendizaje.
And we need each other to offend each other so that we learn.
Aprender a amar a nuestro
Offenses
prójimo.
have to come. That's what Messiah said. How else are you going to learn to love the unlovely?
Las ofensas tienen que venir.
Go ahead and be
Vas a
quiet.
aprender
See if I
a
can.
amar a los que no son amables.
Baruch Hashem Yahuwah.
Baruch Hashem Yahuwah.
It's easy to love my wife.
Es fácil amar a mi esposa.
It's easy to love your wife.
Es fácil amar a tu
It's
esposa.
not so easy to love me, is it?
No es tan fácil amarme a mí.
Why are you looking at me like that? You want me to slap you upside your head? I'm not that easy to love, right? It's a lot easier to love your daughter or your son, right?
Es más fácil amar a
That's why you come here, to learn how to perform the second greatest commandment.
Para eso has venido aquí, para aprender
After
a
the
hacer
first.
el segundo de los mayores mandamientos.
I'm sorry, brother. Preaching good? Thank you. Huh? It's the coffee you made for me that you guys made together. We close with this. Matthew 26,
Mateo 26,
18.
18.
Oh, open this up for us, Yahweh. He said, Yahushua says, go into the city.
Yahushua dice, entra a la ciudad.
You'll find a man
Encontrarán ahí a un
who
varón
has volunteered for this task.
que se ha hecho voluntario para esta obra.
Uh-huh. Say to the volunteer, we're all volunteers in the army of light, light, light. We're here because we volunteered to be here.
Vayan a ese varón y díganle, todos somos voluntarios señalados por el resplandor. Todos hemos decidido estar aquí voluntariamente.
Say to the man who is a volunteer for the task of
Dile
Pesach,
a ese varón que es un voluntario para esa obra de la Pascua.
you're coming tomorrow as volunteers. Nobody's going to get paid. You're serving the kingdom, building his pit, preparing for the lamb. It's an honor to be a volunteer.
Al reino. Es una estima ser un voluntario.
The master said,
El soberano maestro
my
ha dicho,
time to defeat darkness is at
mi
hand.
tiempo para derrotar a las tinieblas está
The
cerca.
time of the Passover is at hand.
El tiempo de la Pascua está a la mano.
I will keep Passover
Yo guardaré la Pascua
at your house
ahí en tu casa
with my Talmidim.
con mis talmidim.
The volunteer
El voluntario
is an angel
es un malach,
leading the disciples
liderando los aprendices
to meet the master in the upper room
para encontrarse con el maestro en el cuarto
for the last Passover.
para la última Pascua.
He's volunteered for by Yahuwah,
Él ha sido un voluntario para Yahuwah.
who will lead Yahusha and the
Él
Talmidim
liderará a Yahusha y a los
to an
talmidim
upper room
a un cuarto allá
and
arriba
protect them
y los protegerá
from the powers of
de los
darkness,
poderes de las tinieblas,
because it is also their hour.
porque igual es su temporada.
This man is a clean
Este
angel.
hombre es un malach limpio.
Listen, leading Yahusha
liderando a Yahusha
and his
y a
disciples
sus aprendices,
because he knows,
porque él sabe,
as a volunteer of Yahuwah,
como voluntario de Yahuwah,
that they're going to need protection
que van a necesitar protección
during Passover.
durante la Pascua.
He leads them.
Él los guía.
That's a clean angel.
Ese es un malaj limpio.
What's the point?
¿Cuál es el
You see
enfoque?
all this angelic stuff,
En
right?
todas estas cosas
Good
angelicales,
angels, bad angels, clean.
ángeles buenos,
All
ángeles
this stuff
malos,
going on right around Pesach.
todo esto aconteciendo cerca de la Pascua.
Yahweh sent an angel
Yahuwah envió a un malaj
to
ángel,
bring the master and his
para
disciples
traer al soberano, al maestro y a sus aprendices,
to a safe place.
a Yahusha, a un lugar
Because if the
protegido.
angel had not led them to the upper room,
Porque si el malaj no los hubiera llevado a ese aposento alto,
they would have been taken out of the way
hubieran sido quitados del camino
or on the way there.
o en camino ahí.
Baruch Hashem,
Baruch Hashem Yahuwah.
Yahuwah. Sister Mariamne, come forward. Y'all enjoy that? That was part one. Yah willing, there'll be about 3 or 4 parts. Baruch Hashem Yahuwah. Baruch Hashem Yahuwah. Baruch Hashem Yahuwah. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. That word is as fresh as it was 12 years ago.
Esa palabra es tan fresca como lo estuvo hace 12 años atrás. Baruch Hashem Yahuwah.
Baruch Hashem. Praise Yah. Page 6 in your Sidurim.
Página 6 en nuestro Sidurim. Shabbat Shalom again. Happy last week of the year. Feliz última semana del año. Happy Shabbat. The last Shabbat of the year. El último